What up, everybody? We're back today with more Reddit stories. This time it's going to be about best friends.
Alright, our first story comes from r/am I the asshole from user Lavender Ponies. Am I the asshole for exposing my boyfriend's girl best friend at my birthday dinner? So, I, 20 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 22 male, for about a year now. He has this, quote, girl best friend, Emily, 21 female, who has been a constant presence in his life. She's always texting him, calling him, and hanging out with him alone, which I've voiced my discomfort about several times. He insists that they're just friends, but I've always felt a bit off about their closeness, especially since he has always made excuses to hang out with her rather than spend time with me. What do you think? Off the bat.
I already don't like it. I already don't trust some of these people.
A few weeks ago, I overheard a conversation between him and Emily where he was talking about how, quote, lucky he was to have her in his life and how she was, quote, the one person who truly understands him. I don't know. Something about it felt not just friendly. I didn't confront him about it right away because I wanted to gather my thoughts. I feel like this is very much so the stereotypical girl best friend story.
Yeah, like... We talked about previously about, the one person whose best friend passed. Check out our recent videos for those. That was a loaded one. And we brought up this stereotypical girl best friend and how we would understand if it was that. And this sounds like that situation. Sounds like more than best friends.
Yeah. Fast forward to my birthday dinner with both of our families. We're all sitting around, having a great time, and I'm already starting to feel a little off since I knew Emily was going to be there. At some point during dinner, Emily made a comment about how, quote, he's the best boyfriend ever. And I, out of nowhere, blurted out, he sure is, but he's also the best at lying to me.
Oh, snap! That was not expecting that.
Yeah, she committed her hand at that point. There's no turning back at that point.
The girl best friend said, oh, he's the best boyfriend anyone can have.
The entire table went silent. I then went on to explain everything I've overheard, the countless times he's prioritized her over me, and how uncomfortable it made me. My boyfriend was stunned, and honestly, so was I. I didn't mean to blow up like that, but it felt like the right moment to confront it all. I don't know.
Moment, but...
I was going to say, yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to go about it. Now I understand emotions are running high, but I think a lot of times when I'm reading in these Reddit stories is these people will put themselves in disadvantageous situations because they let their emotions move before their brain.
Yeah, I'd also understand, though, because, if I heard you say someone... was, they said, oh, Timothy's the best boyfriend anyone could have, I would fight someone. I would not be staying calm. Especially, I don't know how long they've been together. You've been together for a while. So, I would fight someone if I was in her situation. So I think her just saying, yeah, and he's really good at lying, too, is pretty tame. Honestly, I feel like I would have flew across the table. Yeah.
His family was super awkward and didn't know how to react. His mom started comforting him, saying I shouldn't have aired that out in front of everyone. Emily started crying, and my boyfriend just kept apologizing, saying it wasn't what I thought. But honestly, I didn't believe him anymore. I think something that's interesting here, I'm kind of reading through the rest of it, is it never explicitly says if he's cheating or not.
I think he is.
That's kind of what it's implying through the story, but I don't know. I feel like the boyfriend could just be, very oblivious to it and could just be, hanging out with a friend and she's the one making all these comments, but he's just, sitting there dumb.
Yes, but prioritizing her over your girlfriend...
Maybe he didn't realize he was doing so.
But how do you not realize? How do you not realize you're prioritizing? You're making a conscious choice to go and hang out with someone when you haven't had possibly time with your significant other.
I think another thing we have to consider is that it's being written by the girlfriend.
How true.
Different would the story be told if it were instead told by the boyfriend?
That is valid.
Maybe she thinks that she's not being prioritized, but the boyfriend doesn't see it the same way. He's just going to hang out with a friend because he wants to hang out with a friend.
I'm also curious if the girl best friend, when she said boyfriend, if she said it with like a space.
Mm-hmm.
Like she said boy friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
So,
because we're towards the end. I'll read to the end and then maybe share a couple more thoughts. After dinner, we barely spoke. I've been getting texts from him, apologizing and asking for us to talk, but I feel like he's been gaslighting me the whole time. So now, I'm stuck wondering if I really overreacted or if I was right to call him out in front of everyone. Am I the asshole for exposing his relationship with Emily at my birthday dinner?
I do think you are.
Yeah, I think so. I think I understand where you're coming from, but I think it's hard to make that loud of an announcement when you don't have any actual solid proof.
Yeah, that's why I think she's an a-hole. I also think she went about it completely wrong. She needed to communicate with him. Like, yeah, she said, I expressed how it was uncomfortable. But, like, I don't know. You need to not air it out like that. Maybe not the a-hole. I wouldn't maybe go as extreme as that, but I would say there's some maturing to do between both of them. They need to communicate. And honestly, if he's gonna cheat, he's gonna cheat. The girl best friend ain't gonna be changing that. You know, like even if they weren't hanging out all the time,
also
gonna cheat.
Does sadly seem like this might just be a Reddit copy pasta.
Oh darn!
So we have successfully fallen for the bait, but I still think the thoughts are valid on the whole situation.
What's a copy pasta?
Like something that gets copied and reposted a whole bunch. Like this is saying like it just gets posted everywhere every couple of months and always blows up because it's the same situation and it gets the same feelings out of everybody. Because I don't know, I feel like the average Reddit viewer or reader that I've been reading through seems very much so emotionally charged. They are very aggressive, very strongly feeling like there isn't any middle ground in the way that they feel.
I feel like that's also because like a lot of the people posting on Reddit like maybe have a personal experience with it. Maybe I just think she's super immature because I've never experienced like the girl best friend situation.
Mm-hmm. I also think you're not going to leave a comment unless you feel strongly one way or the other.
That is
probably
true.
Also true. The people who are reading in the middle like us probably aren't going to be leaving a comment on this post.
Yeah, but overall, I do think she is the a-hole for making such a big thing out of it rather than just communicating.
Yep. All right, our second one comes from r/am I the asshole again from a user that no longer exists. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my wife spend money on her best friend? My wife has known her best friend since middle school. Her friend is a lawyer and her family is quite well off. She makes a lot and is pretty generous with it. My wife has had a few things paid for by her. Specifically, she covered my wife's portion of her bachelorette trip. The other friend didn't make much, so she covered it. The other friends didn't make much, and so she covered it. She also paid for a portion of my wife's rent twice, and she normally pays the bills if she and my wife go out for food. Pretty typical story so far. I don't feel like there's anything really jumping off the page here.
In the title, it's his wife, so I specifically don't like to let my wife spend my money on her best friend. Because if you're married...
It should be our money.
It should be our money.
Aren't there some cultures, though, where money is still kept separated, even in marriage?
I don't think that's as far as I know, I don't think that's a cultural thing. I feel like that's more of a, like, he had money when they met. She possibly didn't. So he sees it as his money. But I just personally think if you get married, it should be our money, not my money.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, I was agreeing. I was agreeing. Hold on now. I was simply agreeing.
Disagree there.
This friend is now marrying a doctor, and I don't think they will have any trouble with paying for anything they want. My wife is a SAHM?
Stay-at-home mom.
Stay-at-home mom. I've never seen that actually abbreviated out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a mechanic. I brought home a bonus of $3,000, and when I told my wife, she immediately started talking about getting her friend a really expensive necklace from this brand she knows her friend really wants. She showed me, and the cheapest necklace is $2,000 on the website. She insisted I should spend her bonus on a wedding gift for her friend. I shut her down and told her it's my bonus and she really cannot expect to buy her friend something this expensive. I don't think wedding gifts should even exceed $100. She began fighting with me, saying I buy lunch out of the house and I have stupid hobbies that cost a lot of money, so why can't she spend some money like buying her friend a necklace? Now, what I think is I think that it would have been acceptable, and I honestly kind of see the user's point here. Like, I don't know. It would suck to me if, like, I brought home a $3,000 bonus, and instead of it being spent on something that, like, would benefit both of us, benefit the kids, benefit anything like that, you spend it on your friend. Like, and, like, they're working extra hard to bring home this bonus, and you want to spend all of it on your friend? That kind of sucks.
Yes, but also with our relationship, like, we've already talked about staying at home and which one of us would possibly do that if we could do that, and we don't know their situation at all. I hope that was an agreement that they both came to, and it wasn't like a you're staying at home. But him holding it as I get what you're saying, like him working, right?
I'm not even like really saying that. If I brought in $3,000 tomorrow,
I get what you're saying. Like, I think it's a little, like, I get why he's off and being like, maybe we shouldn't spend it all like that. But instead of being like, why don't we get her this cheaper necklace? Why don't we do this? Saying like, you get $100 to spend. That's it. That's very, in my opinion, money controlling, especially if he has hobbies that he spends it on like all the time. I mean, then again, he's also not being like, oh, she has hobbies, like maybe it will be later, like I just spent this much, but him just titling as like my money and being like, oh, she wants to spend this much of my bonus on this.
You're upset at the wording that he's choosing rather than
I don't think the whole
itself.
situation is, but I also think the wording is important because he's trying to make himself sound good and right, and he's still titling as my money. She's a stay-at-home mom. Like, I don't know. That's just maybe me. But just some of his wording I think is a little messed up.
Yeah.
I get where he's coming from, and I would agree. If you brought home that much money as a bonus, I wouldn't be like, let's spend it on my best friend's wedding gift. Like, no, I'd be like, okay, let's look at our budget. Let's see where we can put it.
Especially if, like, I mean, it doesn't explicitly state salaries here, but one parent doesn't work, the other's a mechanic. Like, that's not a ton of money.
Okay, one does work. She's a stay-at-home mom.
Doesn't bring in income, I should say.
There you go. It's like, you're going to get your head chopped off in the comments.
One doesn't bring in income. Mechanic is what, 60, 70,000, I want to say, in the U.S. Probably around there.
It also depends on how many kids they got.
Yeah, I think that also definitely plays into it.
They best be, I'm assuming they budget.
Yeah.
And to spend $2,000, what necklace is she trying to buy?
I don't know.
Oh.
Alright, let's read the last little section here. I do spend a bit on my hobbies, and I have 2 cars, but I also work my ass off, and her friend can definitely pay for it herself. She is marrying a doctor, and they already have a house, whereas we are still renting. I told her she is being insane, and she insists we sit down and tally up everything I spent on myself in the last year, and if it's higher than $2,000, I should pay for the necklace. I think it's ridiculous to compare the two, and I'm refusing to let her buy her friend a ridiculously expensive gift. She insists her friend has spent a lot on her, and I also save money because her friend pays for meals and activities whenever they hang out, so she doesn't have to spend our money. I get that the lopsided relationship isn't the best, but then she should refuse to do anything that costs too much, and let her friend decide if she just wants to hang out without doing anything that costs money. She refuses to talk to me now, and I'm wondering if I'm the asshole here.
I think his wording is really messed up. Like, let her spend it. Like, I know it's a picky thing to pick up on, but just putting the word let so many times, but also very messed up of her to be like, let's tally up all the times you spent money on your hobbies. Like, relax. But also, why do they got 2 cars?
Project car.
Project. That's
that sounds
true.
like what his hobby
Mechanic.
is.
That's
is
true.
Working on a car.
Which car is a hobby?
I mean, it can be expensive, yes, but if you do it over years, it can be not super expensive. Top comment, not the asshole for refusing to buy your wife's friend an expensive gift that's more than half of your $3,000 bonus. Potentially the asshole for what sounds like an uneven distribution of money and or input on how it's spent. When the spouse is a stay-at-home, the breadwinner can't lay total claim to income, my money versus our money.
I completely agree with that first comment. Like, the way he's wording it is really showing he viewed, like, I know he doesn't resent her for being a stay-at-home mom because I'm assuming they came to that agreement together, but being like, it's my money, I'm working my butt off. Like, yeah, but she's at home cooking, cleaning, watching the kids, depending on how old the kid is, breastfeeding, getting little sleep. Like, she's putting in work and being like, it's my money. Like, again, I agree, shouldn't spend it all on the best friend. If it's a true best friend, she's not going to be expecting that, really. Like, not be upset about the unevenness of spending money towards each other, especially if the more wealthy best friend is choosing expensive places to eat.
Yeah.
When she knows her best friend situation.
Yeah. Definitely seems like a lot of the comments kind of agree to our sentiment where you shouldn't realistically spend $2,000 on a wedding gift like that. But simultaneously, his wording was very poor.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, we could leave it at that. It's not the situation itself and the choice he made wasn't an asshole, but the way he put it and the way he was seemingly treating her for being a stay-at-home parent makes him the asshole. All right, our final story for the day comes from r/relationship advice. From another throwaway. My 28 female best friend, 28 female, kissed my husband, 27 male, and it's destroying me. How do I proceed? I, 28 female, have been with my husband, 27 male, for 6 years, married for 4, and we have 2 kids, 1 and 3 female. Everything in our relationship is perfect for us. He's the best husband and father to our kids that I could have asked for. I am absolutely in love with him, and his actions and words have always shown me that he feels the same way. There's no better feeling than going to sleep in his arms every night. I don't know, it's a very odd way to describe your relationship as being so perfect when he's about to kiss your best friend.
Yeah, that's also something I feel like it's a little weird that she's leaving out. I wonder if it's like the best friend is just like, I've always dreamed about kissing your husband or something, or if she actually kissed her husband, because then her husband's not that perfect.
Yeah. Last weekend, my husband and I had some friends over, and we were having a barbecue. We were all outside in the backyard, surrounding my husband who was on the grill. As the food got closer to being ready to eat, we were all started sitting at our backyard table. Once the food was all ready, and at the table, my husband went inside to use the washroom and get another case of beer. I didn't realize that my best friend, 28 female, had followed him. When he was coming back out, my best friend hid behind the wall separating our kitchen and living room and surprised him by pulling him in and forcing a kiss. My husband immediately pushed her back and yelled WTF. She immediately started crying and ran out of the house and left. My husband came back into the backyard and asked to speak to me privately and immediately told me what had just happened. I was shocked and told him that it would be okay and that we would talk after everyone else left. I managed to put on appearances for the next couple of hours, but I was mentally distraught. That's an interesting sequence there for the best friend, forcing someone to kiss you and then just running away.
I wonder if they're all drunk.
Could definitely be it, but I don't feel like...
Does not excuse assault. That is assault.
Yeah, that is assault.
That is not okay. Alcohol does not excuse that. That is a weird reaction from the best friend. I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even really know what to say to that because that's just so bizarre. Like, even if you wanted to go for it, you would think you would have to, like, talk to the other person first, right?
Yeah. I was saying we're picking up a vibe, but, like...
He's just going...
He's not putting any down, so what are you picking up?
Yeah, I don't know. My best friend tried showing... Oh, wait. I skipped a paragraph. After everyone left, my husband sat me down and told me what happened and showed me the footage from our living room camera. It was exactly as my husband had described it. My best friend of 10 years, the person who I treated as my literal sister, forcibly kissed my husband. After the third date with my husband, she was the one that I told that I was going to marry him. She knows how much I love him and how strong a relationship is, and she still chose to try to come in the middle. For F's sake, our 3-year-old calls her auntie.
I really wonder a little bit if... Now, don't chop my head off. But if the best friend and the husband are having an affair, and he had that reaction because he knows there's a camera.
And he knows there's a camera, and he knows that he would get caught if he did it. That's an interesting theory.
Because right away, pulls up the video, like, that had to have been on his mind. Like, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just too suspicious.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's probably what I would do in that situation, is go to the camera footage to say, this is what I said.
This is what happened.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not lying to you. I think there is a possibility of that.
And then that would also explain the best friend's reaction to crying with him going, what the heck?
Yeah, when they had previously done that. I think it's a very interesting theory. Obviously, we're not going to have any evidence to prove that. And also, I don't know if, like, you ever truly will. Because now that he's reacted like that, he has a perfect defense.
Mm-hmm. Unless the best friend's like, actually, look, I am a horrible human being and have been cheating with your husband. Here's all the screenshots and the proof. Like,
yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
But I'm not saying at all that's what he is. I'm just saying devil's advocate, maybe.
That is kind of victim blaming.
Yeah. Yes, I'm not... Oh, no. I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying it could maybe be something. Okay, I'm done.
My best friend tried showing up the next day just to talk, and my husband had to hold me back from beating the shit out of her. And he kicked her out and told her not to come back. It's been almost a week now, and I'm nowhere close to moving on. I don't blame my husband one bit. He's completely innocent in this, and if anything, he's the victim. I've been lying down on my husband's chest and just crying every day and night. I'm so angry and frustrated and don't know what to do. My husband has been amazing, and like always, he just gets it and understands how I'm feeling. He brought me flowers almost every day. That's a little strange. We can discuss that in a minute. Brought me flowers every day and cooked my favorite meal multiple times in the last few days. I love and appreciate him all the more for it. I just don't know how I'm going to move on and trust any of my friends again after this. Feels like somebody might have a guilty conscience. I don't know. That's kind of weird. I mean, maybe he's just trying to be nice. We can give him the benefit of the doubt because it's still explicitly stated otherwise. But if you look at the other side of the story, it's a little weird.
Also, why would the best friend come and try to talk to her?
I don't know.
Like,
and
if
she could have been level-headed enough not to just scream at her, then maybe she would have found out the truth.
What we think the truth is.
Well, the truth in one way or the other.
That's true. She would have gotten the second half of the story. Like, yeah, she saw the video and all of that. I just think it's a very weird reaction to grab someone, kiss them, and then cry because they react if there truly wasn't...
If there wasn't something pre-existing there, yeah, it definitely is weird.
But I also think she would be messed up for doing anything with her best friend's husband.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any sort of comments that agree with us there.
Yeah.
A lot of people just on her side.
We're not victim blaming. He is a victim in this if our weird suspicion is not true.
Ooh, I finally found one. I'm sincerely sorry. I don't mean to be a skeptic and contradicts everyone's advice here, but I'm almost inclined to suggest calmly, asking your ex-best friend if there's anything going on between her and your husband, just to make sure and rule out something worse. What struck me as odd was her A, spontaneous kiss at such a gathering at your place with so many people, and B, her emotional breakdown when she ran off. Your husband is also aware of the camera situation and could just be crying to cover his ass. Again, I can't stress this enough, this is just to rule out something worse.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we've just watched too many conspiracy theories, but it does feel a little bit weird.
Maybe I've watched too many detective shows. To be, like, suspicious of everybody, I guess.
Yeah. Well, with that, it's going to do it for today's video. Do you want to do the outro this time?
Sure. Also, leave a comment, especially about that last story. Do you agree with us that he might actually be cheating, or was the best friend truly just picking up something that was not being put down? But thank you for joining us and watching us react to these Reddit stories. Hope you enjoy. Leave comments down below saying if you agree with us or if we didn't catch something possibly in the stories that you did. Have a nice day.